It began with silence. No ransom note, no footage, no proof of life. Just a name erased from the world overnight. A billionaire who vanished from a 5-star hotel in the middle of one of the safest cities on Earth. The cameras were working. The guards were on shift. The suite was locked from the inside, and yet he was gone. Some say he fled. Others say he was taken. But what's certain is this: within hours, the story was buried. Not by chance, by power. This is the story of the billion-dollar kidnapping no one talks about. A mystery that exposes how far money and influence can bend reality itself. Dubai, 2017. The desert city built on gold, ambition, and illusion. Every light on its skyline tells a story of someone who wanted to be seen, and one man who suddenly didn't. His name was Khalid al-Rashid, oil magnate, philanthropist, and private investor in some of the world's most secretive projects. To most, he was untouchable. To those who worked with him, he was unpredictable. He arrived at the Royal Meridian on a Tuesday night. Security footage showed him walking in at 10:42 p.m. It never showed him walking out. By morning, his suite was empty. His passport and phone were gone. The safe wide open. At first, local police treated it as a disappearance. Then, within 24 hours, the case was pulled from their hands. Reporters who tried to ask questions found their stories quietly deleted. His company issued a vague statement about medical leave. Something about it didn't add up. A bodyguard later told investigators, off record, that Khalid had received threats from a foreign agency, but that agency's existence was impossible to verify. In a country built on secrecy and image, there's no difference between a rumor and a warning. Weeks passed. No ransom, no trace. But millions began to move through shell companies, offshore trusts, and encrypted transfers, as if someone, somewhere, was liquidating his empire. Journalist Leila Hossain was one of the few who refused to look away. She spent years piecing together fragments: flight manifests, leaked bank documents, encrypted emails. Her conclusion was terrifying. Khalid hadn't been taken for money. He'd been taken because of it. Just months before his disappearance, he'd quietly invested in a classified project, a network of private satellites designed to bypass government surveillance. If true, it would have given him something more powerful than wealth. It would have given him freedom from oversight. And freedom in the wrong hands is dangerous. To understand what happened, you have to understand how the world of billionaires actually works. It's not just yachts and art collections. It's shadow infrastructure, private intelligence firms, encrypted communication networks, personal security agencies with ex-CIA staff. One investigator called it the privatization of sovereignty. Men like Khalid didn't just own companies. They owned countries within countries. So when one of them vanishes, it's not about a single man. It's about control. Who has it? Who loses it? And who decides what the truth is? In 2020, 3 years after he vanished, a data leak from a Luxembourg trust exposed something chilling. A series of accounts, frozen, then reactivated under a new name. The beneficiary? A holding company based in Singapore. The trail pointed to the Philippines, where a man fitting his description had been spotted entering a private compound under armed guard. Layla followed the lead. She was detained at the airport, questioned, and deported. A week later, Her apartment in London was ransacked. No valuables taken, just hard drives. Whatever Khalid knew, or whoever had taken him, they weren't done yet. Every disappearance leaves two mysteries: what happened to the person, and why we stopped asking. Khalid's story was never about money. It was about power, the kind that doesn't appear on Forbes lists, the kind that buys silence instead of headlines. And maybe that's why no one talks about it, because the people who can disappear billionaires can also disappear the truth. But behind every conspiracy, there's something human. A family that still leaves his place empty at the dinner table. A sister who receives postcards with no return address, always with the same handwriting, always signed with just one letter. Maybe he's alive. Maybe he isn't. But the silence he left behind speaks louder than anything else. The more we looked, the less we found. No body, no suspects, no justice. Just a world so entangled in secrecy that even truth has a price tag. And maybe that's the real story here. Not one man's kidnapping, but how easily we accept that the powerful can erase themselves from consequence. Somewhere, someone knows what happened to Khalid al-Rashid. Maybe they're watching this now. Maybe they're the reason you've never heard this story before. But if power can hide people, maybe stories can bring them back. Because in the end, the most dangerous disappearances aren't the ones that happen to billionaires. They're the ones that happen to the truth itself.